entertainment, drama and personalities. On a frosty December Saturday in 1976, Match of the Day screened a programme that had a generous supply of all three. The two selected matches were Arsenal versus Newcastle United and Leicester City versus Birmingham City, and between them they produced no fewer than 16 goals. But the game here at Highbury had added ingredients. Newcastle United were third in the First Division at the time and chasing their first league championship since 1927. And yet, only 5 months earlier, they'd sold their most famous player. He was the most dynamic centre-forward of the 70s. His swashbuckling style like something straight out of Boy's Own. And what brought extra romance to this particular occasion was that the club Newcastle had sold him to was Arsenal.
Malcolm McDonald waves to the Newcastle United supporters on a day he's been looking forward to all season. It's his first match against his old club since his £330,000 transfer to Arsenal last summer. In exactly 5 years at Newcastle, McDonald assumed folk hero proportions. He scored better than 1 goal every 2 games, played in 2 Wembley finals, and he won 9 England caps. Yet there are those who are saying that Newcastle have done better since McDonald left than he has done for Arsenal, all of which adds spice to a match which should go some way towards settling the argument. Paddy Howard at number 6 also plays against his old club. He's come in for Peter Simpson, who's injured, and that's the only change from the Arsenal side which lost in midweek in the League Cup to Queen's Park Rangers. As always, plenty of Newcastle supporters down from the northeast to welcome a side that's doing better in the First Division at this moment than for some time past. The Newcastle team is the one that's taken them through this successful unbeaten run. Some speculation about who's going to mark McDonald today. I suspect that number 2, Irving Nattrass, might see rather more of him than most. Today's referee is Eric Reid from Bristol. And the undersoil heating has certainly done its job at Highbury today, but for that, the match might not have gone on as Arsenal kick off in the white shorts, playing from right to left. The pitch is hard down the centre, but it's softer on the flanks, especially on the far side where the sun has been shining. That's for McDonald. George Armstrong with the throw. And that's the first corner. Tommy Craig. Howard goes forward. McDonald standing almost on the goal line. And the North Bank provide the chant. Away by Burns. You can see 1 or 2 players treading very gingerly on the top surface where it's very frosty. Here's O'Leary for Arsenal. Stapleton. Gowling with Burns running on, and Rice missed it, and Burns is in with a chance, which he takes well. Pat Rice caught perhaps by the conditions, but no mistake at all from Mickey Burns. And he is the player that in recent weeks defenders have found hard to pick up. He floats in behind Gowling and Cannell, and when he got away from Rice there and went in on Rimmer, the finish was decisive. So less than 15 minutes gone, and Newcastle United maintain their good form. O'Leary. Plenty of noise from the Newcastle end. And before long we may well hear the Blaydon races. McDonald though for Arsenal, good turn. Years exactly this season since Newcastle last won the First Division Championship. leaning there by O'Leary on Gowling. Gowling always the target for the high balls. That was a low one, but he was still the target. McCaffrey's header. Cassidy, who fell. The defence is pushed out, looking for an offside decision, and Newcastle had a couple of players running through, trying to defeat that. Newcastle get players behind the ball so quickly that it's making Arsenal's progress appear very heavy and laborious. Here's Brady. He's found Nelson. McDonald moving in on the cross. Came to Stapleton, it then came to Ross. And has hit the post and gone in. Trevor Ross, the scorer. His right foot is always dangerous. It came out to him conveniently, he kept it down. Mike Mahoney got a hand to it. It then hit the post and went in. So while the defenders competed with McDonald for the original ball, the knockdown came to Ross and Arsenal are level. And the crowd warming to what's becoming a most interesting match. Good ball from Alan Ball. Rice now, two in the middle. Ball again. Nelson's up in the box now with three others. Here's O'Leary. Away by Nolte. Brady's shot. And that's a corner, I think. Deflection off Nolte. Arsenal suddenly finding their form and their touch. And Newcastle's turn now to be examined. Howard is up. Stapleton is doing well in the air. Got up there above McCaffrey. Howard and Gowling having an interesting battle in the air. This is Cassidy. McDonald to ball. Armstrong. Good cross, McDonald coming in. There's some good play there from Barraclough. He's onside, is Stapleton. Controlled it superbly and was fouled, surely, by Natras. But the referee gives an indirect free kick. Obstruction was the offence, and Stapleton was the player fouled. But no complaints there from Arsenal. Natras impeding his man, that's obstruction, and the correct interpretation there of the law, an indirect free kick. Referee insisting on the 10-yard ruling. It's come to Alan Ball. McDonald getting up. That's the one he wanted. And how well he put it away. From the free kick, Alan Ball with the chip, Malcolm McDonald with the header. And McDonald bites the hand that used to feed him. Arsenal 2, Newcastle 1. And inevitably, Super Mac being shouted from the North Bank. Alan Ball, who's played this last 10 minutes, has had an awful lot to do with the way Arsenal have come from behind to take the lead. Gowling in the middle, so is Barraclough. Appeals for handball against Cassidy, not given. It's a good cross. Barraclough appeals for handball against Nelson, also waved away. Well, the linesman had a good view of the first one and the referee of the second, and they shook their head each time. Here's Nelson. Brady. Stapleton heading it down. Tommy Craig finding it hard to impose his authority in midfield, but Ball is doing just that for Arsenal, as he proved then. Rice. Stapleton is coming in on this. It was hard for the keeper, and Ball knocking it back. Stapleton's in there. And Mahoney having to perform all sorts of acrobatics. Coming up to half-time, Arsenal leading by 2-1. Ball to Armstrong. O'Leary. Likes to come forward, the big number 5, and does so sometimes with quite a lot of skill too. Donald's header, and it's Stapleton going in, and he did tremendously well there, and it's in. It was over the line before Nolte got it out, and Stapleton has scored for Arsenal. And no wonder they say that Stapleton's the sort of player that chases lost causes. Some forwards might have given that ball up, but he didn't. He went on running, he got it round from a difficult angle, and although Jeff Nolte hooked it out, the linesman spotted that the ball was over the line, and Arsenal lead by 3-1. Cassidy. Here's Gowling. Barraclough screaming on the far post. He's completely unmarked. But they've asked Cassidy to do rather too much once or twice out there without support. That the Arsenal fans will look back on very happily, especially as their side went a goal down so early on.
Aren't hopes and dreams fragile? No wonder most come to nothing. But they could happen with Bradford and Bingley. Their new mortgages are for all kinds of people, like first-time buyers. I love it when dreams find a home. Your dreams could find a home with Bradford and Bingley.
Morning.
Morning.
Excuse me.
Where's Mildred going?
Car insurance. She's going to that internet cafe to get Swift covered.
Swift covered? Well, tea breaks over in a few minutes.
With swiftcover.com, you could get a car insurance quote in less than 60 seconds.
Swift cover by name, swift cover by nature, eh?
And you could save up to £346.
Now I know why the chicken crossed the road.
For a swift way to save on car insurance, go to swiftcover.com.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The thing about writing a best man speech, get it right, you're a hero. Get it wrong, you're a dead man. There must be websites you can rip witty anecdotes from.
Only BT Total Broadband includes Wi-Fi minutes, which give you wireless access when you're out, as well as at home. So you can now take your broadband with you.
But apparently you can hear them in Nairobi. Look at his face.
Get a more complete broadband experience from $9.95 a month for the first 6 months.
If you ever lose your house keys, Norwich Union Direct will automatically pay to get your locks changed. And if you join us, we guarantee to beat your buildings and contents renewal premium or give you £60 cash back. Contact us and see how we can make you happy.
Most cigarette smoke in a room comes from the lit end. Unfiltered and even more toxic, it attacks vital organs of everyone who breathes it, increasing their chances of heart disease by a quarter, even if they've never smoked. But the scariest thing is, you can't even see it. 85% is invisible. Second-hand smoke, the invisible killer.
So Newcastle begin the second half with McDonald slipping immediately. Newcastle with no option now forward. Arsenal, meantime, are just 1 goal away from their best score of the season, which was 4 against Birmingham at the beginning of November. Rice. Armstrong. Nelson putting Howard under a little bit of pressure. Nelson straying into that area of the field where the ground is hardest, and Howard had to hurry to get the ball away. Gowling, number 10. On by Stapleton. And Burns is onside. A chance here for his second. Good stop by Rimmer. Look at that, centre half as well. Intelligent goalkeeping. He had to come all the way because Burns was clean through. There's Armstrong again doing some valuable work. Really driven through, and they're onside, and Mahoney right out to do what Rimmer did earlier. Defenders again getting caught trying to turn on this frosty pitch. Ball. Brady. Another promising move from Arsenal. Brady going on himself. What a fine run! And another good piece of handling by Mahoney. Lovely run by Brady. That's the skid patch there in the middle of the field. And here's Barraclough against Howard. He's got so much awareness on the ball, Brady. Seems to work out all the alternatives and play the best ball 9 times out of 10. That's not a bad ball from Ross either to Armstrong. Stapleton's on the far side, so is McDonald. Stapleton! McDonald! One or two defenders looking towards the linesman, and there must have been just perhaps a hint of offside. But McDonald has scored his second of the afternoon, and it's Arsenal's 4th. Mickey Burns races to the linesman, and he's still complaining that when Stapleton knocked the ball across, McDonald was in an offside position, and the conversation is still going on. But there was no flag, the goal stands, and it's Arsenal 4, Newcastle 1. Thoughtful Gordon Lee on the right, the Newcastle manager. McCaffrey. Ball straight to ball, and the through ball's on. McDonald accelerating, looking for a hat-trick, but finding Stapleton. And that's a sign of the pressure that Newcastle are under. McCaffrey was glad to get the ball out of play. Those are the balls McDonald thrives on. Stapleton up again, there's McDonald again! He hit the bar! So close to a hat-trick. Stapleton set the chance up and McDonald hammered it, and it crashed against the bar. No wonder they're going super Mac on the terraces. Ball. McDonald's coming in on this as well. Oh, great save! Magnificent save. And the third one just won't go in for McDonald. Beautiful header and a flying save from Mahoney. This is ball. Offside, the flag's up. It's gone down again now. Newcastle at 6s and 7s at the back. Cassidy, there are 4 striped shirts in the middle, being only marked by 4. The dummy by Barraclough, the shot by Gowling. Gets one back for Newcastle, although I wonder how much the pitch had to do with that. Jimmy Rimmer didn't seem to be able to get across. He looked to be stranded. It wasn't a terribly hard shot, but they had got men in the penalty area, and Alan Gowling makes it 4-2. O'Leary for Arsenal. Well, the crowd are loving this. Good ball from Cassidy for Burns, and he's through here again. Rimmer right out, and that is 4-3. Mickey Burns second. And Newcastle have come from nowhere to score 2 goals within a minute. The Arsenal defence split on the through ball. Alan Ball tried to catch him, he couldn't. Burns went on, and his finishing there every bit as good as it was when he opened the scoring in this thrilling match. Gordon Lee must realise now there's a chance here of picking up at least a point. 10 minutes to go, and here's ball in lots of space. McDonald wants a through ball, and he's got it. Is this the hat-trick? And again Mahoney stopped him. It's going to come to Armstrong, and he hit the bar. Mahoney stopping McDonald for what must be the 3rd time, if not the 4th. And then Armstrong's little chip rolling across the crossbar. Again the through ball, and Burns is through again. Good save by Rimmer, and Burns nearly getting the rebound in. And no wonder he looks aggrieved. That would have been his 3rd, and the equaliser had it gone in, but Jimmy Rimmer making it quite an afternoon for goalkeepers at both ends. Armstrong, Matthews is the player in the middle. Had to check to stop being offside. Here comes Ross. Stapleton on the near post. McDonald! And there it is. The man that seems to write the football stories better than boys' fiction has gone and done it all over again. A hat-trick against his old club. The first time he's met them since joining Arsenal. And Gowling now on with Cannell inside unmarked, if he can be found. And Gowling fouled by O'Leary, but I think just outside. Gowling inquires, and a free kick it is on the edge of the area. Taking Burns going in, and Rimmer doing well. Cannell, and off the line, Nolte, good save. Oh. Cannell with the initial header. Little George Armstrong on the goal line got it out. And Nolte again brings the best out of Rimmer. Well taken by Rimmer, and McDonald is 1 against 1 up front, but it doesn't matter. The whistle goes, and Arsenal have beaten Newcastle by 5 goals to 3, and McDonald has scored 3. Well, there were plenty of threes in his transfer fee, but he'll prefer to remember the 3 scored today. Arsenal, who were a goal behind early on, get a great ovation as they go off, but coming back to lead 4-1, looked like being pegged back themselves for a moment, but in the end deservedly came home in a match which produced a thrill and an incident almost every minute. And but for the goalkeepers, there would have been even more goals on that caption.
Well, Roy of the Rovers stuff, Malcolm, wasn't it, from your point of view? But what might the score have been there?
Well, when you think of the action that the 2 goalkeepers were involved in, it really could have almost been double figures by either side. And I can assure you that one that hit the bar, I thought, I'm not going to get the hat-trick. If that one doesn't go in, I'm not going to get a hat-trick, but as it happens, it works out so well.
Stapleton up again, there's McDonald again! He hit the bar! So close to a hat-trick.
Having had the 5 years with Newcastle just prior to that, did you experience any mixed emotions on the day?
Yes, I did. It was very strange to play against the only club that I'd ever played for in the First Division prior to me signing for Arsenal. It was lovely seeing all the old faces as they came in an hour and a quarter before the game and having a little chat with them. But there was a distance between us. It wasn't total camaraderie between us because I was now the opposition and they weren't wanting to let anything slip, and so there was a distance between us. And that automatically builds a tension. And I think also that teammates become very aware of a player playing against his old club, and they want him to do so well, and they're very aware of trying to help him and to achieve the result that he wants on the day. And don't forget that it wasn't only myself that was playing against Newcastle as our old club, that Paddy Howard also on the day. This was his first time playing against Newcastle after he had signed for Arsenal some 2 or 3 weeks after myself. So it was a day for 2 of us, and there were 9 other Arsenal lads who wanted so much for the 2 of us to get the result that we wanted. And of course, after 5 years at Newcastle, the last thing that the Geordie lads were going to do was lay down and let Arsenal get the result that they wanted.